professionals with practical frameworks for evaluating learning effectiveness and translating learning and development initiatives into measurable business outcomes. So I welcome us all to today's lecture. Thank you all for joining in. And as we're all aware, the theme for this workshop, which is for today and tomorrow, the theme is on strategic learning and development impact, strategic L&D impact, and the return on investment, ROI masterclass. So measuring and translating learning to business results. Tonight's topic is building a learning ecosystem, strategies for scaling impact and driving cultural change. I take it again, the topic of tonight's workshop is building a learning ecosystem, which is strategies for scaling impact and driving cultural change. Take it for the last time. Building a learning ecosystem, strategies
Apologies, I think the speaker's network is bad, so let's just wait for her to get back online.
Okay, good evening, distinguished professionals. Let's just go straight to the main business of tonight. But before then, I just want to give us an intro of who our facilitator for tonight's. Okay, she's back.
Okay, my apologies, I guess it's the network issues. So very quickly, Dr. Leke Obudimu is a doctoral fellow of this great institute, which is Federal Chartered Human CIHRM. He is a principal consultant, Tom Films Associates International Limited, managing director, Fontom International Golden Ventures, results-driven consultant, transformational leader, global speaker. With over 25 years of experience, Dr. Leke Obudimu is a highly respected management consultant, damage control specialist, and human resources expert. He has driven business growth, optimized processes, and developed people across Fortune 500 organizations in various industries, including oil and gas, banking, manufacturing, healthcare, aviation, and construction. As a certified human resources consultant, Dr. Obudimu has supervised frontline firms such as Total Energies, BUA Group, ECOWAS NLMG, FCC, and HEOSL, delivering exceptional results. His expertise spans strategic management, process optimization, human resources development, damage control, and business transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, members on this workshop call, and HR professionals, please welcome with me our facilitator for tonight in the person again of Dr. Leke Obudimu. Dr. Leke Obudimu, over to you, sir. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Distinguished member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management. It's my pleasure to speak this evening before you great men and women of honor. Without wasting much of our time, I'd like to confirm our availability and our participation by quickly asking each and every one of us to go into the chat room quickly, just write Ecosystem is the way. The chat room. Ecosystem is the way. Ecosystem is the way. Let me see your names there. That way I can tell that you are very much with us. Ecosystem is the way. That's all I need to see from you. All right, let's start dropping it in the chat room. Ecosystem is the way. Ecosystem is the way. Are we dropping that already? Correct. Correct. Yes. I love this. Ecosystem is the way. Yes. Right. I love that. Correct. Correct. All right. That's fine. That's fine, guys. That's fine, guys. I can see we are all very ready. We are very much ready. So it means that we all are ready for us to get started. So we are going into the business of the day. We are looking at building a learning ecosystem and strategies for scaling impact and driving cultural change. Building a learning ecosystem, strategies for scaling impact and driving cultural change. Thank you. Enough of the ecosystem, enough of that. Let me see if I could quickly share my screen from here. Please kindly allow me to share my screen. Hello, can you hear me over there? Kindly allow me to share my screen, please. Hello, are we together? Can I get help from someone there?
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
All right. Can I share my screen now?
Yeah, with you, sir.
With you, sir. Carry on.
We can
Yes,
hear you, sir.
I need them to
We
help
can
me share
hear
my
you
screen
very
from
well, sir.
beautiful.
I'm
But
hearing
I'm
We can
trying to
hear
you.
you,
share
I'm
my
but
hearing.
there's no video. No video.
Yes, go ahead,
hear
We
you,
please.
sir.
can hear you. We can hear you loud and
Thank you very
clear.
much. Thank you. That's fine. The IT guys, could you kindly allow me to share my screen, please? Okay, thank you. It's
Yes, you
coming
can
up
share
now.
your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I can see. But yours is showing again. There's
Yeah,
another one
yes,
showing there. All right, please kindly do confirm that you can see my screen from there.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
we can see it
Yeah,
very
but
well.
We
put
can
it on
see, we can
slideshow.
see
yes,
I
we
can
can see your
see
screen
it
now.
from here.
We can see it here.
Okay,
Please
we can
put it on
see
beautiful.
it.
slideshow.
Yes, we
Definitely,
can
I
see
will.
you.
Just hold on. I need to confirm you can see it first, and then we move on from there.
Okay.
Is that fine? All right.
Yes,
So,
it's fine
like
now.
I told you earlier, beautiful. So, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to be looking at the topic building a learning ecosystem, strategies for scaling impacts and driving cultural change. Once again, I'm Dr. Leke Ogundimo. I'm going to be driving you for the next 1 hour, 20 or 25 minutes on this topic, building a learning ecosystem, strategies for scaling impacts and driving cultural change. So, but just before I delve into the business of the day, I'd like to ask us a question, or rather, should I just do an overview so that I see the number of persons on this call and it's quite overwhelming, about 180 people as we speak. So asking that question randomly might not really work. So, but you know, there is what we call a learning ecosystem, which is a network of people, processes. Please, if you can put something down, start jotting now. I'm delving into the business of the day already. Learning ecosystem is a network of people, processes, and technologies. A network of people, processes, and technologies. Three things. Network of people, processes, two, and technologies. Right. Now, that enables continuous learning. The purpose of these three key tools, the people, the process, and the technology, is to enable continuous learning, innovation, that's two, learning, one, innovation, two, and growth, three. Building such an ecosystem requires intentional strategies by learning and development practitioners and human resources practitioners, right? It requires intentional strategies to scale impacts, drive cultural change, and foster a culture of continuous learning. To scale impact, drive cultural change, and foster a culture of continuous learning. Now, there are salient points I'd like to give to you. Do not bother yourself about the slide. You see, part of the things I have on the slide, I'm going to tell you. It's better when I have a very interactive class, when you understand what I'm saying, when you can pick points and reason along with me. I appreciate it more than just running you through slides. I'm going to run through the slides, but of course, it is important that I ingrain knowledge in every person that is on this call, right? So let us look at the salient points when we talked about strategic learning and development in Nigeria, right? So the first thing, especially building the ecosystem. In building the ecosystem, one of the things you need to understand is that you need to define your purpose. If you're a learning and development person, you need to define your purpose and your vision. Define your purpose and your vision. What this means is that there is a need for you to clearly establish an understanding of the ecosystem purpose before it is introduced. You need to clearly establish a clear understanding of the ecosystem purpose, the goals, and of course, the expected outcomes by the time you introduce it. I hope somebody is putting something on, you're putting pens on paper already. Right. The second one is to foster a learning culture. Individuals who would embrace learning ecosystem must have understood the need to learn continuously. So you need to foster a learning culture. Ensure that you are able to imbibe the culture of continuous learning into your people. So what does that mean? Encourage experimentation. Encourage experimentation, right, as much as you can. Risk-taking should also be embraced, right? And then continuous learning. Also, you need to promote psychological safety. Promote psychological safety and growth mindsets. Promote psychological safety and a growth mindset. Very key when you're introducing a strategic learning ecosystem for your people. Now, you need to also leverage on technology. You can't talk about ecosystem or building a learning ecosystem without the use of technology, right? Because it is beyond your immediate environment. So leverage technology, utilize digital platforms, AI and data analytics to facilitate learning, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. Leverage technology, my people, learning and development men, women, HR practitioners on this call, leverage technology, utilize the digital platforms that you have, the AI, the data analytics, to facilitate learning, collaboration, and knowledge sharing.
I'm sorry, sir.
All right.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. So you are sharing the slides, but the slides are not moving. I think you've already passed the first page, but yeah,
No,
the
no, no,
slide
no,
is
no,
only
no,
on the
no,
first
no,
page.
no, no. I'm not using the slide yet. I'm only speaking.
Okay.
I'm speaking to
Okay,
them.
okay,
I've not
okay.
started moving my slides. I said it. I said I don't
Okay.
need to move my. I'm not speaking to them. I'm only engaging them now. This is not
All right,
from the
all right,
slide.
all right, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
this is not from
All
the
right.
slide. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very
Okay,
much.
so
Yeah.
if you want us to drive it through the slide, I mean, like I said earlier, it is not just about the slide. It's about sharing an ingrained knowledge that individuals can actually relate with. That's the way I do my things, right? So, but if it's just fine by every one of us to go by the slide, of course, we can go right into the business of the day. But if you think you are getting the flow, just say continue the flow. If you're there and what I was initially explaining, you could understand and could flow with it, please just say enjoying the flow in the chat room. Enjoying the flow, enjoying the flow, enjoying the flow in the chat room. That's if you're following me actually, and you could hear what I was saying and relate with it. Just say enjoying the flow. Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly. Yes, beautiful. Enjoying the flow, enjoying the flow, enjoying the flow. Correct. 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 Continue, sir, with the flow. Correct. So this is God bless you. God bless you. That's fine. This is just yes. This is just me. Yeah, giving you something from what I'll call my pool of knowledge, right? I'm not yet delving into the business of the day using the slide, all right? So this is just sharing with you knowledge of what we know, how we expect it to operate, and trying to give you certain salient points before we go into the business of the day. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's fine. Okay, so my video will come up. I'm having issues using my system for the video, so I have to set up. It's interactive. Carry on, sir. Thank you. Enjoying the flow. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Okay, so another thing that is very important that you must also do is the fact that you must learn to collaborate and partner. For you to have a learning ecosystem in place, you need the people, you need the process, you need the technology. And when you have these three things, you cannot by yourself on your own operate without the help of other people. Right. So you need to leverage on collaboration. That's to say, engage stakeholders, industry partners, communication to co-create. You need to embrace that to co-create what I'll call amplify impact or amplified impact at the long run. Again, there's a part for measuring and evaluation. Measuring and evaluation. What do you measure? What do you evaluate? You need to develop metrics, right, to assess progress, identify areas of improvements, and inform decision making. Informed decision making. Very, very important. Very, very important. And then the sixth point that is very salient for you to enjoy the use of ecosystem when you build one within your system, within your organization, is that you must also get leadership buy-in. Leadership buy-in. The leadership of your organization must buy into the idea of ecosystem. Right. That's to say, commitment from leaders to model and champion learning behavior. Right. You need to get the commitment of the leaders to model and champion the learning behaviors. It's a pattern. It has to start from the top to the bottom. Right. So it works better that way. In such an environment, people tend to embrace it easily, much more easily. Right. And then finally, before I move into the slide of the day, you have inclusive and equitable access. Inclusive and equitable access, right? So that's to say that you want to ensure and equitable access is that you want to ensure equal opportunities, right? For all to participate and benefit from the ecosystem. You want to avail a platform where everybody can get equal opportunities, right? To operate. That's number one, such that they can equally participate and at the end of the day benefit from it. Right. So that's the much I will tell you on the salient points. As time goes on, I'll come up with other things that are very important, but I may not have captured, on my slide. So I'm going back to the slide now. Oh, please kindly confirm you can see my slide. I need somebody to speak to me. Just say you can see my slide.
Maybe see if I have 1 million, I can do a lot of things with 1 million. So how much can they come? How much can come out? Can come out?
All right.
Okay, so
This is myself. Leke Ogundemo is my name.
500,000
Right.
can do a lot.
Somebody is speaking at the background. Who is that person? Can they identify
I'll be
that
paying
person
it 100,000 back.
and help us
Yeah.
mute the person?
Please, can we kindly mute? Can we
And you
kindly
don't
mute?
get, I need it soon.
Yes,
Anyways,
please. Representative of CIHRM, please kindly mute, please. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, over to you, sir. Dr. Leke.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you very much. So we are looking at understanding, right, the learning ecosystem. Understanding the learning ecosystem. A learning ecosystem is an integrated user-centered environment combining technology, content, people, and culture to support continuous formal and informal learning. I'll take that again. A learning ecosystem is it is integrated for a purpose. User-centered environment combining technology, content, people, and of course, culture to support continuous formal and informal learning. Other than relying on isolated training programs, it facilitates seamless knowledge sharing and skill development adapted to individual needs, fostering engagement and organizational adaptability. Fostering engagement and organizational adaptability. So if you look at the picture to your right, I'm trying to zoom that picture quickly. So somebody is talking about, if you see the lady on the left here, I don't know. Yeah, okay. So my cursor is on it. This is share an idea. All right. Share an idea. This is what this person knows. By the time you join or build an ecosystem, one person's knowledge is integrated into another person's own. This person understands systems and projects. Right. This person understands system and projects, as you can see here. This other person understands communication. You see that they are all integrated. That's a part of the integration we mentioned earlier, right? And this person is a good when it comes to calculations, putting figures together, and the rest of it. Right. So it becomes a cycle because they are all integrated. It becomes a cycle because they are all what? Integrated at the end of the day. So that's one. Number two, you see this. I did something here very meaningful. You see, it's telling you again almost the same thing the first one explained, right? Learning strategy. Define a clear learning mission and purpose. Derive a learning strategy from the business strategy, right? The organization of learning, create a vibrant learning culture, part of the things I explained to you earlier, right? Activate business leaders. The business leaders are the leadership of the business, which I mentioned to you earlier, all right? Now, strengthen the learning and development organization and operations model, right? So learning offering. Now, assess upskilling and learning needs. Develop and curate learning content. Deliver learning in engaging channels and formats. Right, under the learning offering, still design ways to maximize learning. And then, above all, you need to also award credentials for learning outcomes. You need to award credentials for learning outcomes. And then on this other side, you see the landscape integration. That is, maximize individual learning. So what A knows how to do, maximize it. What B understands, maximize it. What C, just like you can see in this cycle above here. Right, so this one says, develop team skills and behaviors, propel organization capabilities, foster the external learning community. And that way, you're already building a learning ecosystem that works for your organization. If you're following and you understand up until this point, kindly go into the chat room and just in 1 minute, say something like, well understood, I'm following. Well understood, I'm following in the chat room. Very quickly, let's see those who are following us. Let's see those who are actively listening. I can see your slide now. Yes, thank you. Well understood, following. Thank you. Understanding. Yes, I'm following. Well understood, I'm following. Yes, well understood, I'm following. Following. Well understood, I'm following. We are together, sir. Thank you. Well understood. Yes, I love that. I love that. Well understood, following. Well understood, following. Yes, well understood. Well understood. Well understood. Following. Well understood, I'm following. Thank you. That's fine. That's fine. With this, I am quite convinced that we are together. Thank you very much, my people. That's where I'll check once in a while, just so I am sure that I'm not speaking to myself alone, and that what I'm saying isn't just for my own understanding, but for everybody's understanding. All right, we move to the next one. This one is talking about defining the modern learning ecosystem. Thank you. Just getting in. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. Enough of that. Thank you very much. Defining the modern learning ecosystem. Now, it's a symbiotic environment connecting people, content, and technology. Do not forget that we started with the word people, process, and technology. Now, it says it's a symbiotic environment connecting three things: people, content, and technology. Now, let us see the role of people. People, internal employees, mentors, and peers. The place of people, external industry experts and associations, just like Dr. Leke Ogundimu, the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management, right? Just like what we're doing at the moment, what we are currently practicing. Then the focus, social learning and knowledge sharing. This is social learning and knowledge sharing. I'm sure we have certain people from the medical field, maybe they work in the hospital for one reason or the other. We have people from oil and gas amidst us here. We have people from manufacturing. We have people from technology background. We have people from, different places. So the focus is social learning and knowledge sharing. So that's for the people. Now, if you look at the content, it's telling you about formal, the structured courses and certifications. Informal will be videos, podcasts, and articles. All of these put together are part of the things that forms a learning ecosystem. Now, the curation, high quality, relevant resources. And that's why you should, ahead of anything, ahead of the initiation phase, you must ensure that you understand the need of every employee before you onboard them into the learning ecosystem. Right, so technology, platforms, integrated LXP and HRS systems, accessibility, mobile first and non-demand, right, and on-demand. Then data. The data is analytics, real-time learner behavior tracking, insights, identifying skill gaps and trends. Identifying skill gaps and trends. So all of these are very, very important, ensuring a symbiotic environment. So by the time you have these four put together, it gives you a symbiotic environment where Mr. A isn't coming just as a parasite to learn from me, and I have nothing to give to him. So if you look at this one that I showed to you earlier, if you look at this particular one here, you see that everybody brings in a knowledge that is integrated for the purpose of a general and common knowledge. Everybody has a knowledge that they are bringing on the table. And this is what makes it, symbiotic. Because the place of symbiosis is that you have something that I do not have, I'm bringing it on the table. I have something that you do not have, you're bringing it on the table. So you see that they are all integrated. You can see that there's an arrow at the end of it all, So going back to that, we need a symbiotic environment connecting people, content, and technology. Right. So we move straight to what we call the strategic shift. The strategic shift. That is, from isolated training events to continuous learning ecosystems. The learning ecosystem is not held back by anything. It's not obstructed by anything. It's not hindered by anything. Right. It is such that you can benefit from it anytime, any day, anywhere. You can watch podcasts from your office. You can listen to programs such as this webinar. Look at the time of the day that we are having it, because you are not limited in time, space, and performance. That's why this can actually happen. Right, 8:30, and I mean, we are all here. Look at the number of persons responding online. Right, so it shows that you are not limited by anything, or not even by resources. That's what that's actually trying to address over there. So going forward, one of the things that you need is the strategic shift from isolated training events to continuous learning ecosystem. Again, scaling impact through technology and social learning, driving cultural change by embedding learning in the flow of work. Embedding learning in the flow of work. Yeah, that's how to drive the cultural change. In driving cultural change, you must learn to, communicate your vision to make that happen. Communicate your vision, clearly articulate the ecosystem purpose and the benefits. Again, you need to lead by example, demonstrate commitment to learning and innovation. What you do most times is what people learn to do from you and through you, not what you actually do tell them. Most times, either as a parent, as HR development, as persons, as learning and development persons, as HR professionals, it is not so much of what you say that people would listen to, but so much of what you do. Right. So that, in other words, is saying that lead by example, demonstrate commitment to learning and innovation, recognize and reward. You need to recognize and reward. What do you recognize? Acknowledge and celebrate achievements and contributions of your staff. Acknowledge, right, and celebrate the achievements of your staff. And then in this driving cultural change, by embedding learning in the flow of work, another thing that is very important that you must not ignore is to embed in processes. Integrate learning and innovation into daily work processes. Integrate learning and innovation rather, learning and innovation into daily work processes and procedures. Right. That way, the people will see it as part of them. They will embrace it as a must do. And the performance overall will be something that will be impressive for you and the entire organization. So let us see let me also zoom this, the diagram on the right. So, all right, so it's talking about the learning ecosystem, elements of learning ecosystem diagram. You see, the learning ecosystem is a place where you need to enroll. But as you enroll, there is a place for classroom. The classroom is, it says this is a sample text that you can edit. Okay, I'm not going to edit that. But it's a place where you can actually learn from a tutor directly speaking to you as a facilitator, facilitating a particular course of action part time for your staff members or employees. The other one is the part of inquiry, where they have one thing or the other to ask you. You must ensure your availability when it comes to learning ecosystem and the elements of the learning ecosystem. Right. So they need to make inquiry. When you tell them we are going in this direction, people are going to make inquiry. They will ask you questions. Why are we doing that? Why should we move in this direction? Why not the regular LMS way? Right. They're going to ask you questions. And then again, they're going to ask you again, the career. Now, will this not affect my career? Because human beings are naturally unable to quickly adapt to change. Human beings generally, we find it very difficult. One of the things we fear the most is change. Right. The moment you bring in a new idea that they are not very used to, that they are not accustomed with, they begin to ask you certain questions and they begin to ask you how to go about it. Yeah, do not bother yourself about the reaction at the initial stage. By the time the learning ecosystem is properly embedded into the system and they begin to feel the flow, the impact of the learning ecosystem, they'll be the one coming back to you to say thank you. Because why? The organization is going to be more flexible at that time. And then the other one is that it hates their job. Finally, by the time they see that it is facilitating a better career for them all and it's beginning to hate their jobs, they'll be the one to tell you to continue in that line. All right. So from the chat room, I need just about 10 people. If you have ever come across learning ecosystem, please just say what should we say at this point? Secretariat, please confirm that the problem is not from my device. Screen going off and on. My screen is very much intact.
It's going well. It's going fine. It's okay.
It's okay. Correct. Thank you. All right. So that's that. Core components. Core components. But before I get into these core components, I'd like to hear from a few persons. If you think you know anything about learning ecosystem, let's go into the chat room. Just say learning ecosystem friendly. Learning ecosystem friendly. Just write something like that. Or just say ecosystem friendly. Ecosystem friendly. If you ever have had anything to do with learning ecosystem, if you understand what we're talking about here, if you have undergone such before, or you're already applying it in your organization, just say ecosystem friendly in the chat room. Ecosystem friendly. Oh, beautiful. I can see. Can I see those names? Ecosystem friendly, ecosystem friendly, ecosystem friendly. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, most of the top organizations, Fortune 500 organizations, are already on ecosystem. Yeah, ecosystem friendly. Beautiful. 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 Thank you. Interesting. Wow. Wow, I've gotten over 20. Interesting. Interesting. That's fine. All right. So the core components. There is a place of, so that's fine. That's fine. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. So there's a place of strategy in the core components of ecosystem, that is ensuring that you are aligning learning with business goals. This learning must align with your business goals. Now, most of the times, the most difficult set of people to train within an organization, it's not because they are not willing all the time. No, I can tell you that because I've been there. Neither is it because they are rebellious. No. But rather, they feel there is the place of KPI. One, there's also a place of what I'll call targets, right? Which sometimes in certain organizations would hold both penalty and incentives with it. Now, who are this set of people I'm addressing? I'm talking about the sales set of people. The salesmen in every organization are usually very difficult to train. You can't pin them down. Most times, it takes a lot of effort to pin them down. Why? Because they feel that you're going to enroll them for 3 days training. Yes, training is very important. So instead of having them do a 5-day training, all along, get them into a 3-day. Of course, because we can't rule out the place of LMS or LXP totally. Right. But again, you don't have all the time in the world when you work in certain departments within an organization. And as a result, you must ensure that you are strategic as a learning and development person. You must ensure that you are strategic as the HR practitioner in that organization. So what you do is to ensure alignment of learning with business goals. Primary concern for you as HR professional, as learning and development professional, is to ensure that learning is aligned with goals. Number 2 is technology. You must ensure that you create scalable platforms and AI tools, making it available for your people to leverage. Technology. Without technology, you obviously cannot delve into the learning ecosystem world. So technology is key, is a key factor. Of course, without technology, we are not going to be where we are at the moment as I speak. And then the third one is the culture, fostering curiosity and social learning. Now, imbibing ecosystem into an organization, right, is such that you need to make a culture within that organization and make it known to every person that is under the payroll of that organization. And that's why I told you. Yes, I'm going to help you with the manuals at the end of the day. Yeah, you get it. You get it from the institute. Don't worry, that's not a problem. I'll get there. Okay, so as I was saying, it is not something you can shift away from. It is not something you're going to bring in stylishly. You must bring it in as something that everyone within the organization must align with. It is something that you can't afford to ignore. Making ecosystem a culture, fostering curiosity and social learning is one thing you must do as HR practitioner and learning and development professional within your organization. The other thing you cannot joke with is data. So let me quickly use this as a question, as an avenue to ask you a question. So the data is saying measuring impact and driving improvement. So what impact are we measuring, and what sort of improvement are we trying to measure? We want to measure impact and driving improvement. So what improvement are we driving when we talk about the help of data? Can somebody help me? You can unmute yourself. Maybe you raise up your hand or something. At this point, I'd like us to follow decorum, right? If you want to talk to us, kindly raise up your hand if you think you have an answer to what we're talking about. We're talking about data, measuring impact and driving improvement. What impact are you measuring through data? What improvement are you trying to drive through data? Let's do it this way. Just raise up your hand if you have an answer to that quickly. I am very, very time conscious, right? We are about 33 or 43 minutes gone. So if you have something to say, indicate by raising up your hand. Or you just mentioned, say, I got something to say in the chat room. Production volume, yeah, that's another. Production volume, yes. Who said that? I can't really see the names. Samuel Paul Kende, I guess. Samuel Paul Kende, okay. Performance and productivity, yes. I'm loving this. Those are the things you want to measure. Those are the things you're measuring. Measuring performance, correct. Impact of the training, God bless you, sir. Reviewing closeness to business goals. Oh my God, I'm loving this. Occupation rates of the hotel. Okay, so that person is a hotelier, yes. Occupation rate, okay, that's fine. Return on training investment by outcomes. God bless you. Sales volumes, correct. Revenue generated, correct. Employees engagement review, I take that. Improved productivity, I take that from you, sir. Beneficiaries reached, correct. Percentage increase in the number of clients provided services for, like in the hospital. God bless you. I know we have people from the hospital here. Improved performance, correct. Average room rate, oh my God, I'm loving this. Measuring performance and productivity and engagement of employees. So I'll take that as measuring performance, productivity, and engagement employees. System control. Yes, you want to see how well you have control over the entire system. That's true. Policy compliance. God bless you, sir. That's part of the things to check on, right? To measure policy compliance. Let me see again. Employee retention rates, improved performance, diversity and inclusion metrics. Yes, that's part of it. Diversity. Yes, IED, equity, inclusion, diversity. Yes, yes, yes. Turnover, collection, efficiency. I don't understand that actually. Collection efficiency. I do not understand that, but of course, you would have your point. Customer satisfaction. I take that. CRS, customer relationship, service, and corporate social responsibility. Yeah, I take the first one. Corporate social responsibility. I'm trying to see the alignment. Productivity rate of employees, improved productivity, less supervision, and high quality confidence on the job. Sales and losses, like in farming. Okay, so we have farmers in our midst. Interesting. Cost optimization, return on investment, ROI, measurement of input and level of involvement in achieving set goals, correct. High return on investment, correct. Improve in the training and work on an inventory. Yes. How to improve on the training and working on the inventory, yeah. Customer loyalty, improved performance of staff, reviewing efficiency and effectiveness of all departments, correct. Customer satisfaction. Let's put an end to it there. Collection efficiency, that's fine. Thank you guys. I'm impressed. It shows that you guys are paying detailed attention to the training. I'm really impressed. Rewarding performance, internal processes improvements, sales revenue, measuring improved diversity. Yes, measuring targets achieved and KPIs, measuring human capital development. Enough of this. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We need to move on now. Thank you very much. I am sincerely very impressed with the responses I am getting. All right. So this is to say that we are together, and it shows that everyone here are listening with heart attention. I am very, very impressed with this. All right. So I'll move on. Measuring impacts. Now, we just spoke about measuring impacts and the place of driving improvements. All right. So let us look at measuring impact. When you measure impact, that represents increase in employee engagement through social learning. You get 40% reduction in external training costs via internal curation. When you do this, these are most likely the reports you get if you're doing it right. You get 25% faster time to competency for new hires. Why? Because they're not only being trained in class, there's a cycle of training that works for them within and outside the class, in class and outside the class. So you get 25% faster time to competency for new hires, right? And then you have what I'll call higher retention rates in learning-centric culture. Right. So that's it. The measuring impacts. So strategy 1, aligning learning with business strategy. Learning impact is maximized when it directly addresses organizational pain points. Every organization has a pain point. If you're an HR who has moved from one organization to another, especially where you have cross-sector understanding or experience. I'll take that again. When you have cross-sector understanding or experience, you would understand that every learning must align with business strategies such that the learning impact is maximized, especially when it directly addresses organizational pain points. To some organization, especially those who are in the hospitality industry, not the hospitals now, not the medical, but hospitality industry, those who have hotels, those who have fast food, I don't want to start mentioning, I'm not here to advertise any organization, but you should understand we are all professionals here, right? Now, the pain points for some of this set of people is the fact that they have a higher rate of mass exodus of their staff. Higher rate of mass exodus. They recycle their staff overly, at a very higher rate. I want to begin to ask questions. Why is it so? But that's the pain point. Because why? Most of the set of people that works either as a front desk, there is a name I want to use that is industry related. They call them not barman, waitress and waiters. Right, waitresses or waiters, that's what they call them. Right, so these people are likely to be a set of people who are on a transient journey. Their journey in the hotel or in the fast food sector is such that it's transient. It's at the point, concierge, somebody's giving me a name. Yeah, even including the concierge, waiters and waitresses. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. I love you guys. So now, this set of people are likely to leave as soon as they are able to align their personal life with the plans that they had highlighted or drawn for themselves. Bartenders, thank you. I've seen names. God bless you guys. I love you. I love you, honestly. So this set of people are not going to be with you forever. Sincerely yours. They're not going to be with you forever. They are just there for a purpose. Some of them, the reason I use the word transient is simply because some of them are moving from a secondary school certificates, looking at the possibility of getting into school. And perhaps their parents do not have enough money to enroll them in the university or the polytechnic. Right. So what they do is quickly get something doing to raise some funds for themselves. And as soon as they get those funds completed for the purpose of what they designed it for, right, they take their leave. So in most cases, you find it very difficult training this set of people. Why? Because I'm speaking from experience of close to 3 decades, right? When you see individuals who are in these shoes, they find it difficult to train. Why? Because it's like a waste of resources. It's like an economic waste to them. Why? Because, I mean, if you consider the economic quagmire that the country is currently being faced with, and you are investing so much to train a particular person and not more than 3 months of training that person when you're expecting results, you're expecting performance, better productivity from such persons, the next thing you see is that they leave. They leave the business at the time when the business had just invested on them. Okay, so somebody is telling me that it also applies to retail industry. Yes, the sales representatives, of course. Yes, the attrition rate is what? Is very high. I agree with you 100%. Right, so this applies to certain, so you must, what we are saying here is that learning impact is maximized when it is directly addresses organizational pain points. So as HR leaders, as learning and development professionals in your own fields, you should understand how these things work best for you. Yours isn't mine. Mine case isn't your case. So of course, you need to identify how it applies to individuals on this call this evening. Right. So the first thing you want to do is skill gap identification. Skill gap identification. Pinpointing critical skill deficiencies that directly hinder the execution of strategic business objectives. The second one is shared vision, establishing a unified strategic direction between the L&D initiatives and C-suites, C-level leadership priorities. Right. The third one is outcome-based KPIs. You are driving or you are designing KPIs based on the outcome you get from what you introduce as an ecosystem. Developing metrics that measure tangible business outcomes rather than simple course completion rates. It is not how many courses they're able to complete that matters to you, no. But metrics that measure tangible business outcomes. What applies to your business on the positive is what is more important to you as HR practitioner, professional, or learning and development professionals. Right. Long-term support, ensuring all learning initiatives are designed to support and sustain long-term organizational growth goals. That's when you're going to have the good face of the leadership of your organization. If this is missing, long-term support, ensuring all learning initiatives are designed to support and sustain long-term organizational growth goals, you will not be finding it easy with, you are going to get the slides, please. Everyone on this call, you're going to definitely get the slides. At this point, kindly just listen. You can make contributions, based on what we are saying per time. When it is time for questions, I'm going to keep the floor open for everyone. And I promise you, I'm not going to leave a stone unturned, right? So that's why I'm trying to go in this fast pace so that we can achieve quite a meaningful session at the end of this whole thing, right? So scaling impact through on-demand learning. Scaling impact through on-demand learning. What's happening here? It's your audio, not from here. I'm not hearing anything either. Are we together? If you can hear something, please confirm that you all can hear me. Check your network. Audio is loud and clear. Okay, thank you. That's beautiful. The audio is good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we move on. Accessibility and flexibility are the primary drivers of learning adoption at scale. Accessibility and flexibility are the primary drivers of learning adoption at scales. So what this means is that just-in-time learning, just-in-time learning, just-in-time learning. Right. When we talk about just-in-time learning, we're talking about implementing immediate application assets that solves real-time workplace challenges. Implementing immediate application assets that solve real-time workplace challenges. I'll give you an example. I've seen certain organizations enroll people for project management, be it agile, construction project management, and other programs with us. And when they do this, you know what they tell us? They say to us, look, trainer, we're not interested in getting our people certified. I hope you all can hear me. They say to us, we're not interested in getting them certified. What we simply want to do, that also has happened times without number, with individuals enrolling their staff with us for what we call Six Sigma, from the yellow belt to the green belt to the black belt and the master black belt. Right. They said to us, look, we are not looking to get them certified. All we need them to do is just be able to gather the knowledge and apply it to the business part-time. So that's just-in-time learning. When the need arises, now that fuel is going up, a lot of people are already talking to us about Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma, that is Lean, right? SIX, Sigma, SIGMA. How can we reduce costs while running what we need to do on a daily basis? We want to reduce costs while maintaining what we currently have to do, without stopping operations, without having a hitch in our operation, but we want to reduce the cost of running the organization on a daily basis. So that's what we mean by just-in-time learning, implementing immediate application assets that solve real-time workplace challenges. So some organizations will also tell you that, look, we want our people to have the knowledge of project management. And you tell them, teach them the pillars of project management, let them understand what project management is all about, stakeholders management, everything that has to do with management, the initiation plan, the initiation phase, from the initiation to all the stages of project management. They begin to tell you to teach them everything. And when you teach them this, they tell you when it is time to get these people certified. They say, well, we are not interested in getting them certified. Should any one of them, develop an interest in getting certified, let them approach you by themselves. As an organization, we're not ready to get them certified. And by the time you further probe, they tell you that, well, it's unfortunate. Some of the people whom we have gotten certified in time past are no longer with us as an organization. That's the kind of report to get from them. We got some people chartered as Six Sigma black belts, yellow belts, green belts, and as we speak today, they are no longer within the organization, and we could not hold them back. So that's why this helps you when you adopt this method, right? It works for you. We have the second one, which says mobile first access, utilizing responsive strategies for a distributed, global, and increasingly mobile workforce. Utilizing responsive strategies, a strategy that responds immediately for a distributed, global, and increasingly mobile workforce. When you do that, it becomes a mobile first access, what they can access, even while at work, outside the work environment, wherever they find themselves, gives them access to it, and they utilize it for responding as a strategy to distribute global and increasingly mobile workforce. Micro-learning strategy, leveraging bite-sized content to fit professional development into high-pressure schedules. Leveraging bite-sized content to fit professional development into high-pressure schedules. micro-learning strategy. The strategic curation now, aggregating high-quality external resources to supplement and enrich internal programs. High-quality external resources to supplement and enrich internal programs. All right. So very quickly, we have an exercise to map. Quickly, everyone, you get on the chat room. The first is that we need to identify your organization's top 3 business goals. Maybe we should do this with just the first 20 people. Take a number. If you see 1 on the chat room, don't write 1 anymore. Those are the people we are going to work with. If you see 1 in the chat room, don't write 1. If you see 2, don't write 2. Just go straight for 3, 4, 5, like that. So you have the floor. Take a number from 1. Okay, so number 1 is let me see closely. Oh, number 1 is Annie. Am I correct? Am I correct? I could barely see this actually. Can I get the assistance of my lady in the house, the moderator? Can they help me identify these people? I have 2 twos in the house. So I've seen 14, I've seen 5, I've seen 1. Okay, so it looks like this isn't gonna work. Somebody has taken 59 already. Okay, so let's do it this way. Okay, so the instruction is not clear. Yes. What I was trying to say, I needed people to take just 1 to 20. And I said, if you had seen 1, if by chance you see somebody has written 1 in the chat room, do not write 1 so that we don't have 1 in 2 or 3 places, in multiple places. If you have seen 2, you go for 3. If you see 3, go for 4. If you see 4, go for 5. If you see 5, go for 6. And we needed just 20 people to take, this immediate exercise. That's what I meant to say. So, but all the same, I'm just going to call you randomly. I have Annie. The first 2, 3 people were in order. So I'm going to use that to start with. Maybe I'll just start with the first 2, 3 people. So is the name Annie? Please kindly unmute yourself and speak to us. If you are Annie. Is it Annie or Anne? I can't really see it well.
Oh, it's Anne, sir.
Anne, okay. So Anne, you have the floor. Identify your organization's top 3 business goals.
The name is Anne, sir. A-N-N-E, Anne.
Anne, okay, so you have the floor. Identify your organization's top 3 business goals. Tell us the name of the organization. Tell us what you do, if you don't mind. Okay, so just before Anne goes on, right, I have this to say to every one of us. I like to have every of my training room as what I call Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Las Vegas. So if you know anything about Las Vegas, go into the chat room and tell me what you know about like Las Vegas. If you know anything about Las Vegas, what happens in Las Vegas? Tell us. In the chat room, Las Vegas. Casinos, yes. Las Vegas, gambling, yes. There's something I'm looking for actually. Las Vegas is for capital gambling, yes. Vegas, casino is the city of sin, yes. Gambling, yes, open. What happens in Vegas? That's where I'm going. That's fine, that's all. I'm fine. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's the whole reason I call my class in Las Vegas. Whatever happens here stays here. It's not for external use. Please, this is very important. That's why we are professionals. Right. Whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. So what happens here stays here. All right. So, Anne, you have the floor, please. Go ahead. City of Light stays in Vegas. Correct. Anne, you have the floor. If you can hear me, if your network is bright and clear. Otherwise, I pick on someone else because of my time. I'm working with time. Anne? Yeah, recorded for our purpose, but the lecture is live and recorded. Yes, for our own purpose. Yes. Oh, okay. So, host, please kindly allow Anne to unmute. She said the host is not permitting me to unmute. Kindly allow her. So, leave the name of the organization. I take that from you, please. Leave the name of your organization. Do not mention. Do not mention the name of your organization. So that's fine. Kindly allow her. Host, please kindly allow her and speak.
She
Or should I
can unmute
pick on
herself
someone
now.
else?
She can unmute herself.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, host.
Okay, I'm on now. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Anne, as clearly mentioned. From my organization, three. If I just to be sure I got the question wrong, correctly rather, you asked us to state three organizational goals. Yes.
Yes, identify your organization's
Fine.
top 3 business goals.
Top 3 business
Top
goals.
3
Okay.
business goals. Yes.
For our fiscal year 2026, our first top goal is on strategic expansion. And we're embarking on this using the Boku brand as a strategy to move. Because
right.
And the second goal is on our personnel, engaging them in that. I'll put that under competitive personnel welfare package.
All right.
Because you need that incentive for the drive to maintain the expansion project. And our third goal is on more on target achievement, which will be the bottom goal if we get goal 1 and 2 in order. So it's a review target achievement goal. That will be the top 3 for our end.
Okay, so quickly, let's move to the second question. Can you map current learning initiatives to these goals?
That question for 1, 2?
Yeah, you can see it. It's written on the board. Can you see my
Not
my
exactly.
slide?
Not really. It's a bit faint on my end.
Okay, so what the second question says is that map current learning initiatives to these goals. You have 3 goals identified already.
Yes.
Can you map your current learning initiatives to the goals?
I'm not sure where the question is heading to, but when you're talking about learning initiatives, are we looking at from a broad spectrum of staff engagement and training?
Correct.
Okay. Well, we have marked this out in a monthly quota to follow.
Okay.
So, which means before the end of 2026, we would have engaged in a maximum of 10 to 12 sessions across across boards, and the training will be specified on the areas of emphasis for the achievement of every set goal. So I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly or if I understood it correctly, but I think this is what I can put up.
Speaking in the right, you are speaking in the right direction.
Okay. Okay. So what's the next one there? Because I'm trying to zoom in and I still can't make out.
Okay, so the third one says identify gaps where learning is not aligned.
Okay.
This learning.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on, please. Go ahead. The elaboration.
Okay, so the learning that you just told us about, which is the learning initiatives to the goals that you already identified, are there gaps where learning is not aligned? If yes, have you identified them?
Okay, I wouldn't say they were in my field because we operate in a health facility. So every training initiative is based on the skill-specific role. So I really can't put up if the learning is not aligned in it because it is usually skill-specified for each individual.
Skill-specified.
Yes. So,
I see. Okay, so now that it is skill-specified, it may not be very possible for you to propose one new initiative to bridge the gap.
As times embracing more technological advancement to be involved or inclusive in the training sessions.
So that's one.
Yes. So that the team can embrace more challenging issues as they arise. I mean, we're in a digital age and the healthcare sector is not exempted in embracing that. So there are modern techniques and procedures that have been introduced, even software upgrades in existing procedures that can be adopted to enhance the system. So that's basically our area of focus. Okay. Any other one? Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry, I think you are muted, sir.
Hello?
We are hearing you, ma.
Okay, I'm waiting for the next question.
It's like our speaker is muted, and is
Can
not
anyone
aware
help?
of it. Please, maybe the IT team should help with that.
I'll ask him to mute himself, but you have to mute it from his space.
Okay. Or if anyone can help with the next question, I'm sure he's listening in and.
Dr. Leke, can you unmute yourself?
His slide is off. Is not showing his screen again. The slide is off.
I only need the last question to proceed.
There's no last question there.
Okay, so it means I've covered every ground. So I can
Yes,
return to meeting.
There's a last question.
Dr. Leke, please, we can't still hear you. Okay, I think you're muted now. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, beautiful. Yes. All right, so let me go back to Can you confirm you can see my slide?
Not yet, sir. We can't see your slides yet.
So I think something is happening from the back end. Can you help me check on the back end?
Okay, you can share your slides, sir. Maybe you should just try and reconnect because I made you co-host and you have all access to share your slides.
Okay, so
I'm sorry if you're having trouble, just click on more on your dashboard and you can see the share button.
not even responding either ways. Okay. Can you see my slide now?
Not yet, sir. You can't see your slides yet.
Somebody else is sharing a slide, so it's not going to accept two. There's a Francis sharing a slide somewhere.
I've stopped that. I've stopped it.
Apologies, please. I don't know where this is going.
Let's just okay. I think our facilitator is back. All right.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, please let's just hold on for some time. I guess Dr. Nikhil Budin is trying to sort out his network, sort out things at his own end. So please let's just hold on for some time. Thank you.
Dr. Leke, you can unmute yourself now. Dr. Leke, can you hear me? We can see your screen now, but we can't hear you. Dr. Can you? Okay. We can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, but it's not from my hand. I think there's a back end issue.
Okay, but you can hear you now and see your slides now.
Oh, God. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah. Can you unmute one of your mics because it's echoing? You have two devices connected, so when you speak on one, it is echoing on both of them. Okay, I think you should mute your computer screen because your computer screen, I don't think is giving us any audio, and unmute your other device. Yes, that's better. Yes, that's better. Thank you, sir.
All right, darling.
It's so bad. So bad. Okay, sorry, sir. Can you mute the volume on your computer so that the audio is not playing back and forth? Because I think that's also one of the issues.
Done.
Okay, can you speak now, sir?
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's loud and clear. It's very clear.
Okay. So beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is clear.
Okay. There's something wrong somewhere. Somebody is tampering this thing. I can't increase the screen. Something is wrong somewhere. Someone is working on this thing somewhere. I don't know.
You cannot present.
Yes, I don't have control over the screen.
That's interesting.
Okay, can you all see it now? Can you hear me?
Yes. We can all hear you. We can all hear you. Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your understanding. All right. So let's move straight into strategy 3, and that's cultivating internal learning champions. Cultivating internal learning champions. So one of the problems with the whole method of LMS and LXP, do we have individuals who can tell us the meaning of LMS and LXP? I don't just want to assume that we all understand that. When I begin to use certain acronyms, I don't want to assume that everybody understands what I mean by that. Do you understand what I mean by LMS and LXP? Thank you, sir. What's the name of that person? Yes. Osifo, thank you. Cynthia, thank you. Please, thank you. Yeah. What about LXP? Everybody keeps talking about LMS here. What about LXP? Yeah, LMS is Learning Management System. Very correct. How about LXP? LXP. Correct. Shola, you got it. Yeah. Thanks, bro. Interesting. So that's learning experience platforms, right? So in cultivating internal learning champions, cultural change is driven by peer influence and distributed leadership. Unlike the learning management system, right? The first thing that happens in a situation like this is for you to empower SMEs, identify SMEs and enable them to mentor others across the organization. Identify SMEs and enable them to mentor others across organizations. Reward and recognize. Right? In my first speech, I mentioned that in my first speech, before I launch into the stream of the slides, right? I mentioned to us that there is a need for us to reward and recognize. Introduce formal recognition and rewards for active knowledge contributors. Now, I'll say this to you, and I need you to understand it clearly, right? Right from the minutes the sales team globally introduced the idea of penalty and incentive, into the sales box, right? There's been a shift from the traditional sales rates compared to what we currently have. There's been a shift from the traditional sales rates compared to what we currently have today. Sales rate has, one way or the other, it has skyrocketed from what it used to be, moving from about 25% to about 75%. Why? Because people appreciate the idea of rewarding and recognizing them. They appreciate the idea of rewarding and recognizing them when they do well. So the other one that is more like it is for you to train the trainer. Build a scalable model by training internal leaders to run sessions locally. For communities of practice, sustain peer network that encourage ongoing dialogue and collaboration. These are the ways to go when you want to cultivate an internal learning champion. Those who are in charge of SMEs ensure that you identify them and enable them to mentor others across the organization. For those who are already doing well, introduce a formal recognition and rewards for active knowledge contributors. It could be during your Monday meetings, it could be during your AGM annually, it could be, you can always create a platform for doing all of this, right? Then build a scalable model, by ensuring that the people who are more trained, who are more exposed, who have more knowledge within the organizations are able to train, as internal leaders, and they run sessions for you locally. Then communities of practice sustain peer networks that encourage ongoing dialogue and collaboration. All right. Now, this one is talking about social learning, which we mentioned earlier. Social learning leverage peer-to-peer network or knowledge sharing. I mentioned something to you earlier in the class. I said something about the fact that ecosystem encourages what I called symbiosis, right? I mentioned symbiosis. You can leverage in everything that has to do with ecosystem. It encourages peer-to-peer knowledge. It encourages symbiosis. What you know, you bring on the table. What I have, I bring on the table, and that way we are learning from each other, and everybody's doing well in their own field, right? Build and nurture communities of practice, COPs. Build and nurture communities of practice. Encourage collaborative problem solving. These are one of the major and very, very rare benefits of ecosystem learning. Encourage collaborative problem solving. Regardless of your location, it is not going to stop you or limit you from having collaborative problem solving, right? Then above all, implement mentoring and coaching programs. Implement mentoring and coaching programs. And for you to get this done, at the initial stage of this class, I mentioned to you the need to get the buy-in of the leadership of your organization. For you to achieve implementation of mentoring and coaching programs, you need to get buy-in. So that takes us back to the buy-in of the leadership of the organization. So you cannot implement a mentor or coaching programs without the buy-in of the leadership of your organization. So to measure ROI, track Kirkpatrick's level 3, which is behavior, and 4, which is results. You need to track behavior and results. As you begin to embrace ecosystem within your organization, it is of utmost importance for you to also track. We have mentioned the need for you to measure data earlier.
and also improve on technology. Right. So this time around, you need to track levels of behavior and results as you go on. Another one, in measuring the results on investments, measure skills proficiency and performance improvements. Measure skill proficiency and performance improvements. Analyze the impact on key business KPIs. Calculate the return on investment for learning tech. So we spoke earlier about the importance of technology when you want to embrace or bring in the idea of ecosystem or building ecosystem into your organization. Now, it is very important for you to calculate the return on investment for learning the tech. If the tech is not resulting in the desired results, then you need to do something about it. That's the place of measuring. It's very, very important for you to measure from time to time. The AI and personalization. Use AI to recommend content based on learner behavior, personalized learning paths to individual skill gaps, leverage chatbots for real-time learning support, analyze learner data to predict future skill needs. So look at this. Potential, people face similar situations without the benefit of a shared practice. Finding each other, discovering commonalities. Now, for the potential, you are in Sokoto, somebody is in Kafanchan. But what is actually happening to you, what you're experiencing as a learning and development professional is what that other person is equally experiencing. Like the class exercise we had earlier, where we asked somebody to identify the 3 key things that matters to the organization per time. That same thing that mattered to Anne when she mentioned those 3 key things matters to somebody else here that is unknown to you and I. So they have similar situations without the benefit of a shared practice. But in the case of ecosystem, it helps you, right, to find a common ground to solve problems easily. And it brings you to, what we call coalescing. Now, you see members come together and recognize their potential. What can you do? What can I do? What can you bring on the table? What can I bring on the table? They begin to explore connectedness, defining joint enterprise, negotiating community. Okay, so you are a member of IPMA, I'm a member of IPMA, you're a member of Chartered Institute of Human Resources. Yes, I am. So what can we do together? How do we harness opportunities from each other's sides? Right, then it brings activity, it makes them active. Member engage in developing a practice. You begin to develop a practice. Has it worked for you? Yes, it worked for me. At what point did it work for you? You begin to share experiences. They tell you what happens at that point, the high points, the low points. You learn to understand them and more. Now, to overcome barriers, address lack of time with micro-learning. Simplify tech interfaces to reduce friction. Simplify tech interfaces to reduce friction. Break down silos with social learning platforms. Foster psychological safety to encourage risk-taking. Foster psychological safety to encourage risk-taking. That's how to overcome the barriers. Now, the exercise 2, I don't know how to run this exercise. Let's see. There are so many reasons why I won't go with this exercise. Right. But I'll just make this a roadmap for us. When you start off with building an ecosystem of learning, one of the things you need to learn in the first 1 day to 30, the 1 to the 30 of you embracing a learning ecosystem, using the strategies for scaling impacts and driving cultural change. The 1 to 30, you need to audit current resources and secure the buy-in. Buy-in of who? The people I mentioned to you earlier, the leaders of the organization, individuals who drive change within your firm. You need to get their buy-in. All right. Identify and audit your current resources. Day 31 to day 60. Learn to pilot one social or tech initiative. Pilot one social or tech initiative. This is the way to go to give a roadmap, right, in embracing, building what I'll call learning ecosystem. All right. Day 61 to day 90, measure the impact and refine the strategy. Where you feel something isn't going right, refine, go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, refine the strategy, and then check the goal. Identify one quick win for next week. When you look at the overall goal, identify one quick win. What can I identify as a quick win for myself? Right. Having audited the first 1 day to 30, the second day 31 to 60, the 61 to 90, what exactly can I put on the table as a win for the coming week? That's the way to go using this roadmap. Now, learning and development as architects. So you are HR or L&D professionals, you are the architects, right? The things you do is to shift from content creators to ecosystem architects. Who are content creators? Prior to this time, what you do on Mondays, or maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday, everybody according to the schedule of the organization. But one thing is certain, every Monday, every organization hosts a meeting at one point or the other, right? Trying to impact knowledge on people, checkmating the activities of staff and more. Now, shift from the content creators to ecosystem architects. Right. So be the one that will be behind the architectural organization of the ecosystem. Focus on strategic curation and infrastructural design. Right. Facilitate social connection and peer mentoring. That's why you cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. That's the more reason you need to get the buy-in, like I mentioned earlier. Analyze data to drive strategic business insights. When you analyze data from time to time, it begins to tell you whether this is aligning with your business goal as an organization or not. If it's not aligning with your strategic business goal, then you need to go back to the drawing board and refine your strategy. So it's important to analyze data as L&D or HR professionals. The future trends for learning ecosystem. Future trends for learning ecosystem. Immersive learning for skills practice. Immersive learning for skill practice. In the future, people are going to get immersed in the learning. The moment they embrace the learning ecosystem within a particular organization, the stress on the HR for continuous LMS or LXP trainings reduces automatically. It reduces automatically. What you find is that individuals will be immersed in the learning, right? And they begin to build that learning for skill practice on a daily basis, right? Again, the future trend is that it's going to transition to skills-based organizations. You don't delve into what you don't need. You don't just run random trainings, right? Because this is need. It is tailored to your need. The training, when you adopt ecosystem within a particular organization, it helps you to tailor what you need to what you get. What you don't need, you don't delve into it. Like I mentioned to you the other time, certain areas of training in life, here, I said something to you about just-in-time learning. Just-in-time learning, which means that implementing immediate application, assets that solve real-time problems. That's what you begin to get the moment you are immersed. Transitions to skill-based organization, right? It is directed and aimed at a particular goal per time. Then you have the blockchain for secure, portable credentials. Blockchain for secure, portable credentials. Predictive analytics for future skill gap analysis. By the time you already know what you've done, right, what you've created as an ecosystem, you can then predict by the trends of time, by the trends of futuristic happenings and occurrences, you can predict the future skill gaps. Oh, so for this department, they might need to also understand this. Right. As AI evolves, you see, AI is what we all adopt today, and we are using it, but it's also still evolving deeper and deeper on a daily basis. We think certain things that the AI cannot do yesterday, the AI can do today. And I can tell you, certain things that the AI can still not do today, by tomorrow, because of what we call constant migration of value, value would have migrated to a point where AI is fully equipped and can do more than what it is currently offering you. The final summary: align learning with the organization's North Star. Leverage technology and AI for personalization. Foster a culture of curiosity and social learning. Focus on measuring behavior change and return on investments. I'll take that again. Focus on measuring behavior change and return on investments. While I was asking us to mention certain things that we can derive from learning ecosystem earlier, a lot of people during the course of the point when I mentioned why do we have to measure data and track development within the organization, a lot of people mentioned behavioral change, return on investments. These two are key. These two are very key. Focus on measuring behavior change and ROI. So the future of work is future of learning. Start building your ecosystem today. The future of work is the future of learning. And in view of this, I want to appeal to everyone on this call, be you L&D, HR practitioners, to start building your ecosystem today. What you need to do, download the Masterclass toolkits. We are going to give this to you. Access exclusive resources, templates, and frameworks to help you design and implement your learning ecosystem. Join the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management Professional Network. Connect with a global community of HR and learning and development professionals to share insights and best practices. Schedule a strategic consultation. You can contact Films for that. You can equally contact the Chartered Institute of Human Resources. They know where best and how best to direct you. But I tell you, the only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. The only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. I didn't say that, and Ford said. We have come to the end of it. I am open to questions. I deliberately rushed this part of the training so that I could bring it to an end, considering the number of persons here on the call, right? So that we can entertain questions if there are questions from any angle. So we have the next 15 minutes to entertain questions from everyone on the call. Thank you very much. Before I, allow you have the floor, building a learning ecosystem strategy for scaling impact and driving cultural change is the way to go. Thanking you once again, and God bless you. So I don't know if we have to open the floor. We use the chat room.
Yes, you can unmute yourself if you have questions. Yes, the floor is open for you now.
One person at a time, please. Questions, if any?
Good evening, sir. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry about the way my voice is. I've been down with cold and catarrh, but I believe you can hear me, sir.
Yes,
I just
I
want to
can.
say thank you so much for this wonderful class. It's an eye opener. I've really learned a lot. I actually have like 3 questions, but let me not ask the rest. Let me start from the last. Let me only ask one, which is from the last question, talking about investing in your employees and all that. It's annoying when you invest in your employees and then after training them, making them go through QMS and other trainings, some even international trainings, and then they resign to leave, or they tell you they are jackparing in quotes. That is very discouraging. It's very discouraging, and presently that's what we are facing in my organization. You train your staff, and at the end of the day, they leave. They tell you, oh, they've gotten a better opportunity. They tell you, oh, this is what they've been looking for years. They've applied for a particular school abroad, and now the school has asked them to come. Sir, it is discouraging. Do you think we need? Yes, I know you've talked about training people, but I don't know what other things can you do. You can't force people to stay in your organization, but it's like I say, it's annoying training them and then they leave. What is the way out, please? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much too. It's simple. One of the things you need to do is to treat it as part of the cost of doing business. You treat it as part of doing business. What I mean by that is basically not everyone will stay, but the ones who will become stronger and your reputation, building it up for you as a place that develops talents, actually attracts better people. So the ones who will be strong in your organization, who would stand with you, would stand with you. But another way to go, which I usually don't like to tell people, is the fact that you can actually embrace the idea of developing a policy around it. Developing a policy around it, which says that if by any chance you're going to leave in the next 6 months of you taking a particular training, as you know, that's why I say you can develop a policy around it as HR persons, or meet if you are the learning and development person, meet with your HR. You know, both of you can come around, something meaningful by creating this policy. So tell them that if you're leaving in another 3 months or 6 months time from having this training, given the kind of investment that the organization is about to invest on you, we are sorry, we don't want you to partake in this training. So that way you are able to tell who is leaving soon, who is not leaving soon. So if you still want to go ahead, perhaps for immediate use on a particular project, and you think that that individual is the right person to do it, you can still go ahead. But if again you think that person is going to leave you by virtue of the policy, they would have to open up to you and tell you that, well, I'm sorry, I might be leaving so time because I've put in for A, B, C, and D. Right? And by the time they tell you that, you as the L&D or as the HR practitioner or professional in that organization can take your decision whether you want to continue with them or use someone else, to replace them. So you can also build a lightweight, right? We call that return agreements, after funded trainings, ask for a set period of continued work. It's another way to go. Build a lightweight agreements, which is another part to what I was saying earlier, right? So you tell them after this period of continued, after this period of training, you have to, is a must that you continue to work with us for a particular period of time, and that way, maybe you have what we call prorated payback time. If they leave early, keep it far and clear from the starts. So that's one of the ways to go. You can call it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, sir.
Starting from where you have stopped now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Now, that is just the area of signing a bond before they start, because in my own organization is an institution, a learning institution, a tertiary institution, where you have to allow some lecturers to go for further studies.
All right.
So you have to sign a bond that after finishing, they cannot leave until so years. And you find out that some of them are complaining. Initially, they will accept it as because they are willing to go, but as soon as they finish, they'll be complaining about the bond, and they'll be saying that they can go to court about it. Is there any law that can work against that? Because they clearly signed the bond before going. But when they now finish and they see that they have better offer, they want to leave before the expiration of the bond. So what can you advise on that?
Well, there's no law at all. The truth of the matter is that the only thing you can do is to keep the alumni network warm. What do I mean by the alumni network? Someone who leaves no good terms, can send referrals, come back later, or even collaborate across borders. So there are sessions where you have good hands who have left your organizations, but when you have a need for them, really, they are no longer under your payroll. But you can easily call them, mentor somebody or coach somebody in that regard, give them ideas on what to do and how to go about it. If they live in good time with you, there is no law globally that will ask you to keep people within your employment forever. But the way we can go about it is the bond. Of course, when you create policies like this, people will definitely complain. All right. But it's a shift from the regular way of them just leaving as soon as they are done with a particular training, from being cautious, understanding that the management now understands that they are investing in them and this investment must not just go in vain. So it gives them a certain level of caution. All right. So they don't just do it the way they would have done it, knowing fully well that there is a bond around it, knowing fully well that there is a policy around it written. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to ask, is it a good practice that after training a staff or group of staff, the certificate issued to them, just in a bit of, still trying to keep them, the certificate is being held back by the HR practitioner so that they don't have the certificate themselves? Because my former company before I left, that was the practice then. Okay, they go for a training, it's actually an international training. And when they send the certificate, they send it directly to the HR and probably copy the directors, and the staff don't have access to those certificates. When they ask for it, the company instruction is that the certificate to be kept, in the custody of the HR, because some of them experience have shown that once they get that certificate, they will use it possibly to japa and all that. So is it a good practice to keep certificate original, not to give it to the staff?
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll say to you that no, in accordance with international global best practices, it is wrong to hold certificates. No holding back certificates just to keep people from leaving usually backfires. Right, if it feels punitive, damages trust, and it may, in many places, can even run afoul of labor rules, including Nigeria here. If you dig deep, staff who earn a credential on that proof of skill, and blocking it won't fix the real reason they are, eyeing the door. Some of the reasons most time is pay growth and, job conditions, better moves make the job worth staying. You get my point. Clear advancements, decent pay, respectful culture, and if you fund training, use a transparent agreement up front, like the bond we mentioned earlier. All right, commit to stay certain number of months or reimbursements, part of reimbursing part of the cost of that training. That's far both both sides, and it keeps your reputation intact. Any organization who does that isn't working in accordance with global best practices. It's wrong, but people do it. That's not to say certain organizations don't practice it. I've also worked in an organization way back where they did such, but it's mostly, in what do I call this now? Private firms, not some. And I don't want to call them mushroom private firms. It's not a good thing to do at all. That's that. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm beginning to see the reason why some of these multinational organizations
Say that
now
again.
run.
Let's hear you clearly.
I said I'm beginning to see why some multinational organizations now run this like mobile, this big manufacturing companies now run a training. I think what I call they take new intakes, new fresh graduates, and they train them and they keep them in the organization instead of recruiting. Is that why they use that opportunity so that they will train them and keep them in the organization for so long? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but we have a couple of minutes before this meeting ends by itself. So please, we would like to round up so that the meeting doesn't close up. Everyone, thank you.
Okay, that's noted. Go ahead, sir, quickly.
I said, some these multinational organizations, most of the time when they want to recruit, they said
multinational organizations, right?
They say graduate training from first graduates between the age of 19 to 25. You know what I mean? So they take them directly from the university and they keep them instead of doing direct advertisement for experience. Is that why they are using that opportunity, or
It's part of the reasons. Let me quickly refer you to the bank. Get into the bank today. You would hardly find anybody that is 45 years old there. The banks of today.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So the question you should ask yourself is, what's happening to them from age 40, 45? Why can't we have 50, 60, 55? No. It's not funny. Right. So because as you grow, I don't want to say so much. This is being recorded. There's so much to be said. So I'll leave it at that. I'm sure you understand.
Okay. Okay, Doc, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Thank you for this presentation. Now, I want you to advise us as HR professionals, what could be your advice on the best way to handle political manipulation and political buying in programs? Okay, looking at the environment we are today in this nation, there are programs, organizations who want to organize. If it does not have political undertone, you won't get approvals, you won't get funding. What do you advise us as professionals to handle? How do we handle these situations? Thank you,
This
sir.
line is going to go off. I'll leave you with my contacts. You can chat me personally for further questions. This is 10:29, 45 seconds. And I don't want this to shut down on you. So my number is there. You can reach out privately, and then we can do this together. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate your understanding and your cooperation to ensure that we enjoy this class together. You guys have done greatly well. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful evening. My number is in the chat room. You can pick it up from there. Ask me all the questions you want to ask. I'm very much available for you. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management, we say a big thank you to you for being a part of this great success. Thank you and have